You might have noticed that there are quite a few leather boots that have come out over the last couple of months. So the question is, are leather football boots making a comeback? And the simple answer to that question is sort of, but probably not. But no, probably not. As I've discussed on this channel before, the football boot industry is very much about what's trending right now. And it seems at the moment, at least a little bit, that leather football boots have become a bit of a trend where every single brand is throwing their offering into the ring if all the leather football boots were wrestling. So with this trend in mind, the question is, are leather football boots making a comeback? What do you think? Leather boots are for old people. I can't wear leather boots, they're too heavy. Leather boots suck. There'll be lots of those. By the way, if you guys enjoy these discussion topic videos on the channel and perhaps want to see more, don't forget to support this one with a like and let me know down below in the comments what you'd like to see me discuss next. Also, if you're new here watching for the first time and don't want to miss out on daily content from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. Now, believe it or not, there was a time in football boot history, in fact, the majority of football boot history, when leather boots were your only option. And there was also a time when synthetics were being first introduced, where synthetic boots were called plastic garbage and leather boots reigned supreme. Obviously, times have changed. Knitted uppers, laceless boots, bacon strips. There's lots and lots of innovation in the industry now, but leather boots seem to be making a little bit of a comeback. So sitting here right in front of me are four of the most recent, four of the most interesting, and what I would argue four of the most best kangaroo leather football boots currently available. All top-end models, $200 for the Puma King Platinum, $300 for the Made in Japan Mizuno Rebula 3, $275 for the laceless Adidas Copa 19 Plus, and $200 for the kangaroo leather Puma 1 5.1. I almost said the wrong one there. Granted, they're all very different football boots in regards to fit and feel, but they do share one thing in common, and that is a leather upper. The Copa 19 Plus by far being the most extreme of the kangaroo leather offerings from any brand, being the fact that it is laceless and actually really, really good. I think that this is the greatest laceless football boot ever made, and you guys know how I feel about laceless football boots. I'm not crazy about them, but I really do like these. They are quite special, at least when you're talking about the upper, because I think the sole plate and stud pattern definitely could be improved. But when it comes to the most unique experience you'll get from a pair of leather football boots, plus the softness and comfort and touch that you expect from classic leather boots, there really is nothing quite like a Copa 19 Plus. And then there's the Made in Japan Mizuno Rebula 3, which is the most expensive football boot on the market right now, or at least tied for the most expensive, bearing a retail price of $300. But the kangaroo leather upper is incredible. The quality is phenomenal, as you'd expect from a Made in Japan Mizuno product, and the performance characteristics of this boot put it toe-to-toe, and I would argue actually better than the very high-tech Nike Tiempo Legend 7 Elite that is due to be replaced any time now. This is legitimately that good. A leather football boot that came out of nowhere is the Puma King Platinum, bearing a retail price of $200, which is a very good value considering how expensive top-end football boots have become. The kangaroo leather is super thin, offering the softness and comfort you expect from leather, but a touch that is more along the lines of a modern boot in that it's not bulky in any way at all. It obviously has a very speed boot silhouette, reminiscent of what we used to get from the Puma Evo Speed line. It incorporates a knitted tongue. The fit is great. The responsiveness is solid considering how soft and thin the leather is, and you get the sole plate and stud pattern taken directly from the Puma 1, making them nice and lightweight as well. Which brings us to the new one, the 1 5.1, which features a kangaroo leather upper spanning through the forefoot and the medial side of the midfoot. And I have to say, it's the best quality kangaroo leather we've ever seen on a Puma 1 model. That leather is combined with synthetic as well as knitted components to definitely make for more of a speed boot type of feel in comparison to the other boots that I've showed in this video, but still a really solid option if you're looking for all of the modern performance characteristics but still want some kangaroo leather. 4 phenomenal football boots, but also 4 not very popular football boots. And that's kind of my point here. The main reason why the football boot industry has become so trendy is everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon of the newest thing that's super popular amongst the average consumer. And leather boots, I think, have made a comeback mainly based on the fact that leather boots haven't been the most common over the last couple of years. All these brands are kind of giving it a go to see if people are going to jump on the bandwagon of leather boots again, but based on the sales over the last couple of months, it doesn't really look like that's the case. And to be fair to the Rebulas and the two Puma models, they're so new that it's difficult to predict the long-term sales of those products, but if we look at the Copa 19 Plus, which is an excellent boot, granted very expensive, it really hasn't sold all that well, even though the public perception has been pretty positive as a whole. I think what it comes down to is you have the guys that have always worn leather boots and will always buy leather football boots, but they're not the majority of the consumer base anymore. The vast majority of consumers don't necessarily want leather boots, which means you can have these great leather boots that a lot of people recognize as being very good, but it's ultimately not what they want to spend their money on. So if that's the case, we can't really expect these companies to continue to produce leather boots. And there are, of course, exceptions to this. Mizuno is one brand that I would kind of exclude from this conversation because all of their models are leather, and I think that they will continue to be leather. They're a brand that is very much in touch with their consumer base, and the people that are hardcore Mizuno buys that continually buy from the brand, they want leather boots, and I don't see Mizuno changing that anytime soon. In the case of Nike, Adidas, and Puma, however, Puma has kind of committed to leather boots as of late. Let's keep in mind that 2 out of 3 of their lines right now feature leather uppers rather than knitted or synthetic, the future obviously being the exception. But Nike and Adidas have really kind of strayed away from leather boots. Adidas only offers the classic Copa Mundial that will probably always be in production, and the new Copa line, the Copa 17.1 and 18.1, not doing very well. And while the 19 Plus is an excellent boot, by far the best modern interpretation of a Copa, it has not sold well up until this point, and the 19.1 just isn't that special. The response has not been great, where in the case of Nike, the Tiempo Legend 7 Elite and even the Tiempo Legend 7 Pro are both excellent football boots. They were popular at the start of their run. It's now nearly 2 years later. We're expecting a Tiempo Legend 8 pretty much any time, but based on how those look, it almost looks like Nike is trying to take the focus away from the leather aspect of the upper, given the design of the boot. So while they might maintain a leather upper, and I think that's very, very likely, it doesn't seem like that's the focus anymore, which only leads me to believe, based on trends, based on what people seem to want to buy in the future, if you guys want a bold prediction, you seem to like it when I do this, I think leather boots have a stronger chance of going extinct rather than getting more popular at this point. Leather football boots have truly become the dinosaurs of the football boot industry. Everybody thinks dinosaurs are really cool, but not everybody wants a dinosaur. I guess that makes sense. So I guess to conclude this discussion, do I think that leather boots are truly making a comeback? The answer is no. I think that they seem to be trending a little bit right now, but I don't see that trend lasting a very long time. I will say this, however, I am personally a huge fan of leather football boots. If I could pick one material for the upper of a football boot to wear for the rest of my life, I would 100% pick leather. That's obviously not going to be the opinion of everyone, but if you are a football boot enthusiast and you're maybe a little bit younger and you've never actually worn a natural leather football boot before in your life, I strongly urge you to do so. And 4 of the boots that I just talked about in this video are great examples of boots to try if you're looking for your first experience with a leather football boot that I think most people, if they just gave them a try, would realize what they're actually missing out on. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. If you have any questions regarding this particular topic, or again, any suggestions for other discussions you'd like me to have on the channel, leave it down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. If you're interested in any of the leather boots that I talked about, there are links down below to the new release page on my website. You will find all of those boots with SR4U coupon code, so you can pick them up at a slightly discounted price. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.